For the next few minutes, I want to talk to the author of one of the individual booklets, John Lanigan, about Alcoholics Anonymous. And he says in his booklet, quote, "The spiritual truth behind Alcoholics Anonymous and why Christians should think twice about joining AA." He writes, "Christians in AA may not see it this way, but in their participation of Alcoholics Anonymous, they are standing in agreement with a belief system that lifts up strange gods. In Alcoholic Anonymous, all gods are considered equal and are called the higher power, thus relegating Jesus Christ, our King, to commonality as if he were simply one nameless deity among many." John Lanigan, welcome for the first time to the microphones of Understanding the Times Radio.
Thank you, Jan.
Okay, you've been a member, or you were a member of Alcoholics Anonymous for a lot of years, correct?
Right, on and off for a lot of years. I first came in as an unbeliever, and I was kind of surprised because it was clearly a religion, but you would really face a lot of pressure if you said that. It was always called a spiritual program. Now, however, many years later, in 1999, the U.S. Supreme Court upheld the Second Circuit Court of Appeals ruling that AA is indeed religious in nature. And it's essentially a devotional service when you go to these meetings. The higher power receives praise and worship. Confession is heard, testimonies given. The group invokes the Serenity Prayer and the Lord's Prayer. And the 12th step instructs AA members to go forth and spread the word. And whether one calls it spiritual or religious, Jan, the bottom line is that millions have been taught to reach outside or inside of themselves to draw on a higher power and give them strength. And I am saying as a Christian to my Christian brothers and sisters that it's time we took a look at this and compare the AA theology to what we find in the Bible.
Okay.
And we will find that we're not supposed to be there at all.
Let me just refer to your booklet for a minute. And the booklet is titled "The Spiritual Truth Behind Alcoholics Anonymous and Why Christians Should Think Twice About Joining AA." And it's a 20-some page book, again, in keeping with the booklets that many of you have already ordered from us. I'm going to say more about that later, not now. But I learned in reading through the booklet, John, that the organization came about in the 1930s and gave legitimacy to talking about a generic God. In other words, no emphasis on the Lord Jesus Christ. You call it, and I love this, you call it a salad bar approach.
Yes.
Design your own God any way you want it, and you say AA's 12-step program has literally changed the spiritual direction of the country, and I know you don't mean for the good.
No, I don't mean for the good. With the introduction of this higher power concept, that is that God can be anything that you understand he, she, or it to be, people have kind of gravitated to that because it's way easier, for someone in the flesh to kind of make up their own religion and spirituality. And some of these people do get sober. I mean, I certainly do not want to deny that. And I also don't want to offend anybody, but I guess I'm going to, Jan. And what we have with this higher power spreading throughout the United States and all around the world is a separate religion that is growing stronger day by day. It's funny, but while Christians who are in AA will resist thinking about this or oppose it, the emergent people like Phyllis Tickle, they know what the higher power in AA has done. They know that it's weakened Christianity.
Well, that's amazing because they don't have much discernment for anything, and yet they seem to get this.